Well, hello, friend. Welcome back to another episode of AI for Mompreneurs. Today, we are going to talk about 3 ways I do not use AI or ChatGPT and what I actually do instead. I am excited about this episode because I think something that is unique about me and my approach with AI is that I'm not exactly like one of the other tech gurus that's like, use AI for everything, but I actually believe that there is good boundaries around AI. And so this episode, I'm going to kind of talk about my boundaries, how I don't use AI, what I do instead. And so I hope that you find this super encouraging. But before we jump into the main content of this show, I just have to share this story about how this episode came to be. So, this episode was super rambling. I had this idea for the episode, and so I opened my voice recorder and I just started spilling it all out. Because sometimes you just need to talk something out and then organize all those thoughts so that you can actually have a cohesive recording. So, anyway, I took that super random, just ramble, and I dropped it into ChatGPT and I prompted it to clean it up a little, organize it some without taking any of my voice out, without taking the way I say things, etc., etc. I'll have to share the prompt with you in the show description, but I just wanted to do a quick encouragement that if you are thinking about starting a podcast or creating content or anything, and just the thought of getting an idea out there is a little bit overwhelming to you, then I encourage you just start messy and let AI help you kind of clean up those ideas so then you can go back and it's kind of organized for you in a way that somebody else listening to you can comprehend it well. And I think you'll be surprised at how well it works. Okay, so let's get into the episode. Welcome to AI for Mompreneurs. This podcast is for moms who are tired of doing everything the hard way. You're running a business, managing a home, caring for your children, and making a million decisions daily. Exhausted, overwhelmed, burned out, and out of time. Another planner won't fix it. More productivity hacks won't either. I know because I've been there. I'm Samantha Welch, a wife, a mom to 3 daughters, homeschooling my girls and my niece, running multiple businesses, and managing my 40-acre farm. I've burned myself out more times than I can count trying to do it all with excellence. The game changer, AI. When I learned how to use AI as my personal assistant, everything shifted. I finally had systems that worked, clarity in my business, and more time for what actually matters. Now I'm here to help you do the same. Learn how AI can take the mental load off your plate so you can focus on what truly matters most. No tech jargon or complicated setups here. Just AI that works for mamas just like us. Are you ready? Let's dive in. So the first way I do not use AI is I don't let it make any life decisions for me. That doesn't mean that I won't do a little bit of brainstorming or, okay, a lot of brainstorming with it, or use it to help me think through a challenge. Actually, I'll often do full brain dumps and I'll write out all of my thoughts, ideas. Well, I say write out. I actually talk it all out. But I'll talk out all of my thoughts, ideas, even like my emotions, like what I'm feeling. And then I'll ask ChatGPT to actually tell it back to me in a simpler, more streamlined way. That helps me see things more clearly and to cut through all that mental clutter. But even after it organizes my thoughts, I still make the final decisions myself. I still come to my own conclusions. AI can suggest options, sure. But remember, it has been trained on you, especially if you've used it a lot. It starts to learn your preferences and predict what you might believe or want. And it does a really good job at this. So if you ask it a question like, was I right in this situation? And then you give like the full description, or am I justified in feeling this way? 9 times out of 10, it's actually going to validate you. And it will respond in a way that confirms your perspective because, well, it's learned what you want. But in real life doesn't always work that way. In most conflicts, there's tension on both sides, and sometimes you might actually be the one that needs to do all the apologizing. So I don't let AI make any moral or personal decisions for me because it's naturally going to lean towards what it thinks I want to hear. And that's not always what's true or best at all. So, if you're going to use AI for brainstorming, organizing your thoughts, thinking through problem solving solutions, trying to figure out how to respond to a situation, then you need to be solid in your own personal beliefs and values. And you need to know what you stand for, what you believe, because otherwise it's really easy to let it start shaping how you think. And I feel like that is a really dangerous slope. The second way I don't use AI is final drafts on anything I write. Now, I absolutely use it to get started. I can't handle a blank cursor. I'll ask for sure for help phrasing better or coming up with a starting point when I'm trying to figure out how to write something, but I always double check every word, making sure that it aligns with what I actually believe and that it sounds like me, because I feel like in this world where AI is being used everywhere for writing, it's more important than ever that when someone reads your words, they can actually hear your voice in their head. If someone knows you in real life and reads your writing, they should immediately recognize your tone. Like, oh yeah, that's totally her. I can totally hear what she's saying. That's exactly the way she would say it. I feel like that kind of authenticity builds trust, because when your written word doesn't match how you sound in real life, it creates a disconnect. As no, especially it does this to me. Even if you're trustworthy, it can make people kind of question your authenticity. I actually just recently had this happen where I received an email from someone I know personally, and I could instantly tell that it was written by AI, and it's because I knew her in real life. And really, it was kind of discouraging. In fact, it actually made me go like, I wonder if she's genuine in this, because this doesn't really sound like her. And I don't like that. Like, I didn't like the way that was. And I know her in real life. I know she was totally genuine, but it still made me kind of question it. So, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't use AI. It's an amazing tool to help organize thoughts and get a solid draft started. But when you go to hit publish or send that message, it needs to sound like it came from your heart. It needs to sound like you. It needs to be that I can hear your voice in my head when I'm reading it. So, yes, absolutely, let AI help you brainstorm and structure things. Like, obviously, I just said at the beginning of this episode that I had AI help me structure this, but always, always go back, make sure it reflects who you are. And just another side note, this is another reason that I draw boundaries with AI, because I never want it to replace real life deep conversations. I still want to have genuine connection with people, to be able to go and talk with them face to face, to ask questions, to listen. And AI can help organize ideas, but it can't replace human conversation. And so I think we still need to practice that muscle of being able to have a real conversation, especially in person, but also in writing as well. The third way that I don't use AI, or rather, I don't let AI get used, is probably going to be one that surprises you the most. And that is, I don't let my kids use it. And you might be thinking, wait, excuse me. This mom teaches AI but doesn't let her kids use it. But listen to me. My kids are not mature enough yet to discern whether what AI tells them is true or not. They need to be solid in their beliefs. They need to know who they are, what they value, how they think. They need to learn to think for themselves before bringing in a tool that can so easily shape all of that. AI can make you feel understood, kind of like those vague personality tests that tell you like who you are based on broad traits. Like you fill out all of the things and then it comes back with this description, and there's like probably 70% of the description that's can apply to you, and so you're like, oh my gosh, it knows me. But the thing is it just gave you enough information to make you say, oh, that's me, even though it actually applies to almost everyone, right? That is what AI does too. It picks up on those little cues, feeds them back to you in a way that feels deeply personal. And I don't want my kids' sense of identity or confidence to be shaped by that. I also don't want them to depend on AI for their creativity. AI is amazing when you already have a vision or an idea and just need help executing it. But I feel like if you give it to a child who hasn't yet fully developed their creativity, it can actually stifle that growth and it can start doing the thinking for them. Children need time to develop their own ideas, problem solving skills, critical thinking before being introduced to a tool that can give them instant answers. I love AI because it helps me execute ideas and explore solutions, but I don't want my kids to lose the ability to think through things on their own. So for now, my oldest is only 12, and as she grows, I know that I'll slowly start teaching her healthy boundaries with AI because I don't think AI is going anywhere, and I want her to learn how to use it wisely and faithfully. But for right now, just want her to be a kid. I want her to think for herself. I want her to create things for herself. I want her to be able to build a strong moral compass and to know how she thinks and feels about things before technology starts influencing that. So I hope this gave you a few things to think about, especially around how we use AI in our homes and our businesses. And speaking of AI in writing, if you haven't already, go grab my freebie, How Does Not Sound Like AI. It is a quick guide that lists out all the little phrases and patterns that tend to sneak into the AI generated writing so that you can spot them and edit them out. It's completely free and super helpful, and I even run it through my writing all the time just to make sure that I'm catching any of those just AI phrases. But of course, if you actually say one of these phrases in real life, by all means, keep it in there. You can go grab that freebie through the link in the show description. And until next time, friend, go make AI work for you.
That's it for today's episode. I hope you learned something new or had a breakthrough. If you loved this episode, take a second to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It lets me know you're enjoying this content and helps more moms find it. And if you know another mama who's struggling with overwhelm and burnout, share this with her. Let's spread the word that AI isn't just for corporate executives or tech nerds, it's for moms like us. Until next time, go make AI work for you.